Hello, welcome to another edition of Crossing the Middle Ministry. Today I want to talk about prayer. And sometimes God answers prayer and we don't realize, we can't see into the spiritual world where God is. Very few people have the ability to do that. But sometimes God has an answer that we can't see, just waiting for us to trust God for. And I've got a story here to illustrate that. It's in 2 Kings, starting at chapter 6, verse 13. It's a really neat story. And he said, go and spy where he is. And of course I'm starting like in the middle of the story, but the part that I wanted to express to you is here. It's about 5 verses, and it's only going to take about 5 minutes to do this. Okay, let's read on. Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is at Dothan. And they're talking about Elijah the prophet here. Okay, and the king was wanting to know where he was because he wanted to talk to him about, there was a drought, I'm thinking, on the land at the time, a famine. Verse 14, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots, and of course, yes, I am reading the King James Version. Okay, and they came by night and compassed the city about, or they surrounded the city. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early, and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. Now this was Elijah's servant. Elijah traveled around with a servant, and this is who it's talking about here. And when he was gone, the city was surrounded by an enemy. Okay, and his servant said to him, alas, my master, how shall we do? Verse 16, and he answered, fear not, for they that are with us are more than they that are with them. Now this is one of the most famous verses in the Bible. Verse 16 here is. And he's talking about, Elijah is looking into the spirit realm of where he knows God dwells, and everything, and all of God's word is there. And it's a source for us to reach into and to latch onto and get a hold of the promises of God. And this is what Elijah is doing here. Elijah knows that it's there. Elijah's been there many times and back again, and his servant isn't so sure about what's going on because he's surrounded by the enemy. You know, how many times have we been surrounded by the enemy and says, man, we're going down, there's just no way out of this? But yet, in the physical world, that might be truth. Doctor might have come in and says, man, you just got this many days left, or everything is over. It's done. You just got no way out of this. You might as well face up to it. Your ship is going down. But Elijah reached out into the spirit realm, and this is what he said to him. He says, fear not. Fear comes on you when that thing happens. Elijah says, fear not, for they that are with us are more than they that are with them. And verse 17 says, and Elijah prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. That's our problem right there. We need to have our eyes open. A lot of times, man, when our ship sinks is because we can't see the rescue party just beyond the next wave over there, And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots with fire round about Elisha. And, this was Elisha, not Elijah. Excuse me. No, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. Elisha was Elijah's servant, okay? And when Elijah passed on, then Elisha, or who I call Elisha sometimes, but I guess it may have to have an E in there for it to be that. But anyhow, Elisha and his servant was Elisha, and his servant with Elisha, who after Elijah passed on. This is who this story is about now, okay? So, alright, so sometimes I get the characters messed up a little bit, but the basic principle of the story is still in place, okay? And how many of us haven't done that before? And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And by experience, by going there and back again, builds our faith to the things that we trust in. Trust in God, to be there when we need Him in every situation. Knowing what God's will is the most important thing to getting your prayer answered. You got to know what God's will is. See, Elisha here knew what God's will was for his life. God's will was for him to be successful in the thing that he was going to accomplish. And God pulled out all the stops. Man, He sent a host of army from heaven to get the things done in Elisha's life that he needed to get done. So what the Bible tells us is that God will supply all of our needs in Philippians 4:19, I think it is. He will supply all of our needs according to His riches and glory. Man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of angels up there just waiting for your prayer to be heard. If you would just believe enough just to reach out, is all you have to do. And don't stop until you get where you're going. If you take a journey and you're short one step, then your journey is not finished. So keep on believing. Keep on doing things with God, and keep on trusting Him. Keep reaching into that spiritual world where God lives every day, where it makes no sense to man, but makes a lot of sense to the people of faith and who God is. God bless you. I thank you very much for being with me again, and we'll see you again next time on Crossing the Middle Ministry.